So we're starting a new book. This will be the book of the month. And I have been wanting to read this particular book since I read the one that it's Normal People from the same author. I will leave you that book over here. It's really good, and I love how she writes. She's an Irish author, and the way that she portrays the story, it's very different to anything that I have ever read. And right now I'm working on the essay that is going to come out tomorrow, 3rd of June. And I think that I'm adding something else, I believe, to the Substack, and I'm kind of thinking about it. I want for the Mail Club to have its specific place and trajectory. So instead of just talking about it, I think that I would do a section also in Substack. And that is going to be very interesting because what I want is to create a universe that you could enter and to see everything that it's related to that, and to go into a rabbit hole of different things. So I'm thinking about how could I portray that it's very interesting and that it's very unique, but also like adding value to my Substack at the same time. So I will be thinking about that today, and maybe I can come up with a draft or something, but I'm going to do that because I already have the first chapter of the book that will arrive like in the mail. So I'm adding what I want the letter to have, like everything to finish that letter, and then moving on to the next ones. And yeah, that is, well, that is the thing that I will be doing today. So I will keep you posted. Hi, happy Tuesday. So going through this chapter, the second chapter of this book. It is not what I had expected it to be. It has been way easier to read than the one that I did last month, even though that Sally, like her way of writing is very different to what I am used to reading. But the book so far, it has been a page turner, and I was about to break my one chapter rule, the one that I told you about, that it was one chapter a day, because the story right now is hitting a point where I need to know what happens. And I love the fact that she intertwines topics that are very profound, but also in the like most mundane ways. Because right now, I'm reading about Ivan, that it's one of the two brothers, and he's a chess player, and he went to a competition, and there's something that shows that at the end humanity is this culmination of different things, because he's dealing with the loss of his dad while also having to play for a tournament, a chess tournament, and he's getting paid to do that. But also, he's struggling about his passion about playing chess. And this is something very interesting to me because he says that he had already reached his peak of being like a professional chess player, and that he doesn't know why he's not getting better. Like, he used to play really good when he was 15, but right now his way of playing has been slowing down and it's sloppy. He doesn't know where this is coming from, and there's an interaction with this character named Margaret that she tells him that maybe it has to be with the fact that he's not happy anymore about playing chess. So yeah, that is my idea for today, like the thing that I'm going to be thinking about. Like, when you are doing something and is losing its appeal, is it a signal to change courses and to focus on something else, or you should like keep going and go through that patch? Because I don't know, I have experienced that, especially with my career, like not being enticed by it anymore. So I can relate to Ivan that you are just performing, because there's a phrase that I like a lot, that it's just because you're capable of doing something doesn't mean that you have to do it. So maybe it's going into that direction, and I will be thinking about that today. I will write some stuff for Substack, and I will see what comes out. Today I'm finishing something that is going to be published tomorrow, because I messed up my schedule and I ended up publishing contrary things that I intended to. And also, I decided that I will develop the universe of my mail club. I want it to be an immersive experience, as I told you. And I think that this layer is going to be very interesting to add to the mail club. So if you're in my Substack, you will get those notifications. If not, please subscribe so you can see the updates. And for now, I think that that is it. Hi. So recently, I have been thinking about the mail club, on how I'm going to build that strategy going forward, either in marketing, either in developing all these things that you need to think about in order to create a great product. And I came with this paradox that has been circling my mind, that is, when you're doing something that you love, it should be easy, but at the same time, it's not. So I have fall sometimes in the idea that if something feels not easy enough, that it shouldn't be done, or that is not completely aligned with what I want to do. That I indeed need to either change my course, or that I need to do something differently. And sometimes that is true, but I think that it's a fine line, and we have to have a lot of self perception in order to know when that's true. Because when something is hard, it doesn't always mean that you should pivot or that you should do something else. It means that maybe you're on the right path and you haven't cracked like the right solution yet. So think about the Rubik's Cube. You have different ways in order to approach the same problem, and sometimes you may do a movement that is not in the correct way, but the previous one was. So I'm thinking about that, because building something from scratch can feel like that, especially if you are doing it alone, especially if you are doing it in the online space and then taking out everything to the world. But I think that that's why this process is very important. That you see that there will always be a paradox. There will always be this need to change because you are not seeing results. But what I want to do right now is to stop myself into not thinking, okay, this needs to be something that I will see results right away. Like this will be uh, an action that will have a compound effect in the future. And also, I heard the other day, I heard a YouTuber that I will link her right here, that I love her videos. I love how she communicates the message, and I think that in her space it gives a lot of advice, not only for artists but also business in general. And she was talking about being delusional, like having this delusional compass. And I think that that is the antidote to the paradox that I was discussing, because it it won't make sense until you are doing it, until you have figured out the process. So it's going to be messy, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be confusing, it's going to be very, very difficult to stay on track sometimes. But I think that having this delusional compass on hand is going to be very healthy. So yeah, that is what I was thinking today, and what I think that will get to the next steps into building the Mel Club. Derecha. So we are on a little break from reading and writing. Today I read in the book a interesting concept that it's um, how when something happens to us, like for example, if it's really good or is bad, that we sometimes don't find the evidence to confirm that it happened. So sometimes something is so surreal, or sometimes something happened really fast without us expecting that, then we question whether that happened or not. And I think that it's a very fine line, because that can maybe get you to dwell in the past, you know, like it can get you to be stuck and not live in the moment. And I think that is very dangerous to dwell in the past, especially when you question your actions, whether you did the right thing or you did something that wasn't totally accurate. Because at the end of the day, you cannot change what you have done. And I think that in the book, Ivan is very, very concerned about this, about his actions, about how he's acting. He second guesses everything that he does. And I really like the fact that Sally wrote the book in a way that is very interesting, because she doesn't use she doesn't use quotation marks in order to tell us tell us the readers that there's a dialogue coming. So everything is reading continuously. So sometimes it's very difficult to understand where the dialogue is and where the scene ends. But I think that, sorry, I was interrupted. Here in this park there are a lot of ducks and there are a lot of gooses, and right now there was a family and they were running around chasing dogs and the gooses, and I find that so annoying, because they are like harassing these animals that they are not doing anything. And it was this adult with the kids, and he was just laughing, and their kids were just like chasing the gooses and the dogs. And yeah, my dog is here, and of course I have him well trained in order for him not to harass the animals like in nature, because at the end of the day we need to function as a society. But this guy, I mean, it was so inappropriate in my belief. Like the animals, they they are not doing anything, and it's also their home. But yeah, yeah, that happens sometimes, and I think that older man is telling the dad and the kids like they are doing wrong, because yeah, that is not correct. Okay, we needed to go because it's going to rain. But at the end of the day, the past is very dangerous to dwell in, especially if you are questioning your actions all the time. And I think that the author wanted to portray Ivan as someone who second guesses everything that he does or that is happening in his life. But I don't think that that's so far fetched. I believe that most of us have that sometimes, especially when there are things that matter a lot to us. So I think that that can happen. That in certain situations we dwell a little bit too much. I have been enjoying immensely the book. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, and it's such a page turner because yeah, even if the book is somehow not in a standard format, so the author, she doesn't use like quotation marks, so we don't know when the dialogue is beginning and when it's ending, and when a scene is beginning and ending. So I found very interesting because I think that it resembles real life a lot. Like when you are thinking and you're watching something, your thoughts and the thing that is going on are happening at the same time. So yeah, it has been really really good. And yeah, right now we are on our afternoon stroll. You saw that it was sunny a couple of minutes ago. Now it's going to rain. Netherlands weather. I come always prepared, and this was a tip from a friend of mine. She's 90 years old, and we met because of our dogs. And she was so nice, and I told her that the only thing that I was not enjoying about the Netherlands was the weather. And she told me there's not a bad weather, there's only just bad clothes. And she's totally right. And since then I have like gear up. I have good shoes that are waterproof, and I always carry with me an umbrella, and I always check the weather like um, every time, every hour, just to see how it's going to be. And right now it's starting to rain a little bit. I'm fine. I also kind of love doing things in the rain now, because if not, you won't be able to live here. You will be always in your home and your place. But yeah, so that's something good about the Netherlands, and I'm going to show you how the lake looks. Hi. So, as you can see, this week was very intense, and a lot of questions resurfaced from reading Intermezzo. I think that it is a good start. I have been developing, as you can see, a lot of pieces for this space. I'm so, so happy. And next week, I have a trip to Paris, and I have an idea on how to get to enjoy the moment, but also keep my compromises and my commitments over here. and I will share with you that in the next video. All the strategy and what I do to be present, be on my trips, enjoy the time with my family, with my husband, with everyone that I'm around, but also capture these things that are running to my mind. So, yeah, I will see you on the next video. Bye.